lai lai lai, ya la 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 lai lai lai.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to see all of you. Let's give each other a heart tap to be able to see one another, or a wave to our neighbors on Zoom. Since we can't hear all of you as a congregation, it's nice to see one another. So for those who are unfamiliar, we encourage you to go in gallery view. Sometimes it will shift to speaker view. When you're in speaker view, sometimes you will see different camera angles of our sanctuary, but you'll see our cantor looking at her computer because you can see her on Zoom in gallery view. So it's a little confusing, but we're really excited about this evening because we have multiple people in the sanctuary and multiple people coming in from their homes. So in the sanctuary, we have Cantor Zell, and we have our rabbinic intern, Ryan Lesner, and our high school intern, Zach Gondelman, and I know Victor's there as well. And we have our rabbis coming in from their houses on Zoom, and we have an entire community celebrating Shabbat, meeting from far and wide, all to be together to separate ourselves from the regular work week. This is our first TGIS service, which is a multi-generational service, just as we do each Shabbat. But this time we welcome our tefillah bands, our youth singers and instrumentalists, as well as a story. And I know that Rabbi Sapphire for our families has provided coloring pages and activities, and that I've asked her to share an activity for all of us, adults and children, a game that I hope will really orient us and provide a kavanah, a deep intention for how we spend our time together. So Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi Sissenwein. So we have made for you a spiritual activity that we are calling TBE Shabbat Bingo that came to you with our Shabbat e-blast today. You can download it and print it, which we hope you will, and take a look and read all of the meaningful reasons why we might keep Shabbat. And we hope you will fill it out to think about what gifts Shabbat brings to us and the purpose that it helps us to fulfill. So more on this later, but feel free, please play this Shabbat bingo game.
Can you read 2 or 3 just in case they don't have it in front of them?
And there's a link to it in the chat box. You can get it right now.
Thank you, Rabbi Sherman. I experienced a vision of the goodness that exists in the world. I took a deep breath. I rested. I felt calm. I ate challah.
Great. So hopefully everyone gets bingo and fills up the board. And if you don't fill up the board, hopefully different Shabbats throughout the year, we experience different emotions to bring us closer to God. And so let's begin our Shabbat together in song, with Ryan leading us in the Snigun, a wordless melody, so that we can all join together and welcome the Sabbath.
Ya na 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 na, 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 ya na 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 na.
So we have asked several of our families to participate in Shabbat services this evening who are enrolled in our Babait and Derech learning programs. And we have asked them to answer the question, what do you do that makes Shabbat feel special and sacred? So each of them are going to answer and offer this question as a kavanah, as an intention to help us bring meaning to Shabbat. So I first want to welcome and say Shabbat Shalom to the Costos. Seth and Stacy, Elijah and Eve have joined us and have a kavanah to share to begin.
Some of our family traditions for making Shabbat special include having a special meal on Friday evening, usually along with a homemade challah, favorite Shabbat songs, mostly from camp, and each member of the family sharing their peaks of the week.
On Saturday, we video chat with grandparents and other family.
Recently, we have started trying to make Shabbat more sacred by being intentional about the time we spend together as a family.
So if you would light your Shabbat candles, and I will invite the rest of our community to join you in doing so as we bring light and welcome Shabbat together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad ligner shel Shabbat.
Family, Shabbat Shalom.
Let's join together in the words of Shalom Aleichem, and we have a friend on Zoom with us, a representative from our Tefillah band, Asher Navisky, who's going to bring us into Shabbat with these words. Join us, welcome. Let's all come in together. Asher, I invite you to unmute and sing Shalom Aleichem for us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Yimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Loachem L'Shalom, Malchei Hashalom.
Asher. We continue focusing on arriving at the spiritual wonder of Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi, and as we do, I invite you to return to gallery view. Let's join together.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה, יללה, 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 we invite you now to please rise in body or spirit to greet the Shabbat bride.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונך עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, ופני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, פני שבת
If you are standing, I invite you to find a seat as we place our feet firmly on the ground, taking in a deep breath and exhaling with the words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
As we continue with the words of let there be love and understanding among us, we think about the love among our community who has gathered for the past few months online. Our Baderech and Babait learning programs this past month have joined together to explore Shabbat in many different ways with many different modalities. So let's continue with this interpretation of the Hashkivenu prayer as we enjoy some reflections from their learning.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom.
Ha'amiteinu, Shomereinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha.
Hashkivenu,
Hashkivenu
Adonai Eloheinu.
Eloheinu
Hashkivenu,
Leshalom.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu.
Peace and friendship
Hashkivenu,
be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
I want to invite the Ganitsky family to unmute to share our next Shabbat Kavanah, our next intention. We have Eli, Lauren, Sophie, and Heather. Go ahead.
We perform a few rituals every Friday that we do not perform on any other day of the week. We start Shabbat with an extended family call, saying the prayers over the candles, wine, and challah, and doing brief check-ins. We always set the table for a special family dinner and never sit at the counter. Lately, we've been doing Fish Friday for Shabbat. On our table every Friday, we put out special juice boxes only for Shabbat. We make a homemade challah and try to be a little calmer, relax our bodies at the table. We always go on Zoom services and enjoy dressing up our baby brother in a sweater made from his great-grandmother or a fancy button-down shirt. We end our Shabbat meal with dessert, which we don't do on other nights of the week. We just make sure to have lots of fun and share love.
Thank you. What a beautiful Shabbat celebration.
So let us return to gallery view. And as we move into our personal prayer this week, just as we did last week, I invite us to place in the chat box, which we will open in just a moment, a word or two of prayer, a hope or a wish, a prayer truly from your heart, the prayer that is calling out from you to share forth to the world on this moment, in this Shabbat, the prayer we need to share and lift up together as one community. As we say, Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha, oh God, open up our mouths so that we can share our prayerful voice.
Adonai, sefatai tiftach, v'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, v'yagid tehilatecha. Open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we may feel our pain. Open up our souls to let our love make us whole, and we will praise your name, Adonai, sefatai tiftach, v'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, v'yagid tehilatecha.
Let's take a moment in silent prayer, personal meditation.
We invite you to come out of your moment of silent meditation.
Ryan, I'm glad you can hear me in the sanctuary. Before you continue, I just want to express my gratitude to you and my thanks for helping bring your spirit to our community and leading our tefillah bands. And I want to acknowledge Rabbi Josh Franklin, who's on Zoom with us from the Hamptons, who really helped create our tefillah bands during his years at TBE. So Josh, Shabbat Shalom. It's a special joy to celebrate Shabbat with you, despite the distance. And Ryan, now that you've continued that tradition with our tefillah bands, can you introduce them?
It would be such a pleasure. Normally, in a normal year, our TGIS service would be filled with tefillah band members in our sanctuary. But since we can't do that this year, we have a very special video for you tonight. We have our good friends Zach, Asher. I got to see them on the screen. Sarah's there.
And
Liv is
Davidson
there.
is there. And Jake Winnig is there. And we have Ethan Burak on piano. So a whole new cohort.
We got our crew here. So please enjoy this new song for Shabbat, Shir Chadash. We hope you enjoy.
Shiru Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru, Le'om Le'om, Yeshuato. Unto God, sing a song. Let the world, the whole world, sing along. Raise your voice, let the whole earth rejoice. 'Cause we're all just singing a new song. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru, Le'om Le'om, Yeshuato. Unto God, sing a song. Let the world, the whole world, sing along. Raise your voice, let the whole earth rejoice. 'Cause we're all just singing a new song.
Yasher Koach. I've heard it hundreds and hundreds of times, and it still sounds so good. Thank you to our Tefillah Band, and for anybody else who is from grade 8 all the way through 12th grade, you are more than welcome to join us on Sundays. We would love to have more of you. We're going to make a ton of these videos, and there's no limit. We can have tons of people. So if you are interested and you would like, come on down. You can be in touch with myself or be in touch with Shana Zell, Cantor Shana Zell. We'd love to have you.
So let's continue with words of healing, healing of body, of mind, of soul. And as we do each week, we invite you, if you're thinking of a person in need of healing, to type their names into the chat room below. And then let's join together in these words of Misha Berach. And of course, we think of all of those around the world suffering from COVID.
Ah, Leimotenu, may the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha laavotenu. Bless those in need.
And of course, each week we also give thanks for the sacred moments we've shared, God-given times. And so we invite you at this point, I'm going to place myself in gallery view so I can see them, all of you. If you can raise your hands, if you celebrated a birthday this week. Happy birthday. I want to say to Doug Tolman, happy birthday. He turned 18. Jerry Goldberg celebrating his 80th this evening. And Ronnie, I see a number of people out there raising hands. So happy birthday, everyone. How about an anniversary? I know Alan and Susan Solomon celebrated their 36th anniversary this week. Oh, I'm reading more. Mimi Brown celebrated her 84th birthday this week. Mazel tov. Anniversaries and birthdays. How about the gift of new life? I know that Scott and Rita Quaker had a new child born, Theodore, this week. And so we welcome the births in our community. How about if you experienced the beauty of nature this week? You got outside, took a walk, gave thanks. We have so many wonderful reasons to celebrate and give thanks. Rabbi Sapphire, I know there's another.
I have one more wonderful occasion to add. I want to say Shabbat Shalom to Susan Correa and Kate McCoy, there you are, who will be married on Thanksgiving. Mazel tov to the two of you. I see that you have gathered with your beautiful family, your children. I'm going to ask them to place their hands upon you, because if I were with you in the sanctuary, I would do just the same as we offer God's blessing upon the two of you. Mikor HaChaim, source of life, we ask your blessing upon these beloveds, Susan and Kate. We pray that the sacred commitments of their wedding day will sustain them all the days of their lives. May the love that binds them be lasting. Let their hearts be filled with patience and understanding. May their home be a sanctuary built on love and devotion. May they be blessed with health and courage as their love and friendship deepens through the years. May you, God, bless them and keep them. May your light shine upon them, and may you be gracious to them. May you grant them peace, shalom, and let us all say, Amen. Mazel tov.
Amen. Mazel tov to you. Let us give thanks for all of these sacred moments with words of Shehechianu. Thank you, God, for allowing us to reach this season.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We sing Amen.
We have one more Shabbat Kavanah intention from Gareth and Susan, who represent our intergenerational Babait learning program. So go ahead and share, please.
To make Shabbat feel sacred to us, we believe you have to be fully in it, to be fully present. This means for us putting yourself in a Shabbat mindset even before it starts. We do it by buying or baking a challah on Friday afternoon and setting out the candles and wine early. In addition, I have found that studying Talmud Friday mornings has helped me focus on Shabbat even sooner. Then once the services start, we just sit together like we're doing now, enjoying being in sacred Zoom community.
Beautiful. And that is a beautiful segue to the words that I would love to share with all of you this Shabbat. So I bet if I were to ask many of you to recall your Friday nights in middle school or high school, you would look back upon them, remembering Friday night high school football games, evenings at the movies, parties with friends, maybe dinner and game nights with family. Well, I remember a very different scene. I remember asking my parents to go to temple for Shabbat services. And if that didn't fit well with their plan, I remember begging them to drop me off so I could attend by myself. Sometimes my rabbi, who I deeply admired, would even call me a few minutes before services to share that she didn't think they'd make a minyan or a quorum of 10 people to pray, and that my presence would be quite important. You see, I grew up in Springfield, Ohio, a small city in Southwest Ohio, where for most of my life, my twin brother was the only Jewish kid I knew. Our Reform synagogue, Temple Sholom, was only 40 households big, collecting most of the Jewish families within 30 miles. When I showed up for services, I was not only the only kid there, I was the only one under the age of 60. But I loved it. I didn't just love attending synagogue, I lived for it, especially Shabbat. And let me tell you, our services were simple. We didn't have a cantor, let alone a clergy team. We didn't have instrumentation or even a modern prayer book. We didn't have youth activities or TGIS. We didn't have speakers, dinners, or Shabbat programming. And oneg certainly wasn't a feast. I was drawn to something else. I loved the warmth and sense of connection and community. For a kid from an interfaith family with only a few Jewish relatives, these congregants were my big Jewish family. We celebrated milestones in our lives together with each Shabbat that passed. I knew when Mr. and Mrs. Leventhal were expecting another grandchild, and when Mr. Weiser retired. I knew when the Schiffs would head to Florida for the winter and that I would miss them. For they all invested in me and my Jewish education. Synagogue on Friday nights was one of the only places and times when I felt I was known for being uniquely me. That's what happens when you build a community on sacred values and relationships. Shabbat with my special Temple Sholom people inspired visits throughout the week in their homes over tea and baked goods. Looking back, I can't imagine those formidable years without Shabbat at Temple Sholom. And back then, I didn't think twice that I probably had more dear friends who were 5 times my age than I had contemporaries. Shabbat week after week brought me back to the meaning of pure blessing in my life. You might ask, why did this kid find such value in Shabbat? She must have known from an early age that she wanted to be a rabbi. Nope. She must have felt obligated to attend services. Not really. Somehow, from an early age, I learned firsthand that Shabbat gave me a taste every single week of the person I wanted to be and of the values that I held most dear. With all the pettiness of middle school and high school and all the challenges of being a teenager, with all the busyness of schoolwork and extracurriculars, Shabbat was my return to my true self and a taste of who I could become. And it was probably one thing that brought me the most joy. Zionist Ahad Ha'am taught, more than the Jewish people, I have kept Shabbat. More than the Jewish people have kept Shabbat. Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. In these terms, Shabbat saved me. It gave me life. So I ask of you this Shabbat, and hopefully many Shabbatot to come, what purpose does Shabbat bring you? What is the meaning of your Shabbat observance? I could come up with dozens of answers and possibilities. In fact, this week, the clergy and I did just that. We had a wonderful time sitting around our Zoom table, brainstorming the reasons one might find meaning in Shabbat. We even polled our fellow staff members. And that's what you'll find on the Shabbat bingo board that we mentioned at the beginning of services. If you haven't already, I hope you will take a look at the card and reflect on some of the options. Whether your soul was moved by music this Shabbat, whether you disconnected from work to connect with family more deeply, remembered a loved one, took time for yourself, or ate challah.
Bingo.
Go.
Oh, yes. Great work, rabbis. So yes, I hope you too will yell bingo, celebrate, and share what makes Shabbat meaningful to you. Let's take a moment to reflect on what you have selected. Why do you show up for services? What more can you do each week to find purpose and meaning in this day? How has Shabbat kept you and given you a greater sense of shalom? And don't forget that developing Shabbat ritual takes time and is a process that requires practice. You don't have to fill out the whole card in 1 week. That is certainly not how my Shabbat practice began a long time ago. Rather, my prayer this Shabbat and always will be that our unique and individual, but oh so meaningful Shabbat practice will keep us and give us life and blessing week after week after week. And with that, I wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, 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 Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom,
day,
Shabbat,
one day.
Shabbat shalom.
So now let us turn to words of memory, remembering those individuals who helped shape our lives but are no longer with us. And we invite those who are observing Yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of a loved one, or are currently within the period of mourning, to please type the names of those individuals they're remembering into the chat below. And let me mention those relatives of members of our community who have passed during the past 30 days. Richard Gibbs, Rudy Hachenberg, and Martin Stein, a Temple member of our community. We also have been asked to recite the names of Winifred Franklin, Meyer Hammelberg, Francis Jacobs, as well as Richard Schwartz, Maurice Spielberg, and Nicole Weinberg. We remember those listed in the chat room. And this day has also been designated as a Trans Day of Remembrance, remembering that at least 37 people have been killed this year simply due to the fact that they were transgender or gender nonconforming. And so we remember all of them as well on this day as we recite words of Mourner's Kaddish. And if you're a mourner in our midst, if you would just raise your hand or rise if you're able at this time so that we can acknowledge you as a mourner, as together we say, Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach roteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, hagalav izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olamei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata tamiran mi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So some announcements, and then we'll conclude with Kiddush and Motzi and a celebratory Shabbat Shalom. But before we do, I just want to thank Stephen and Max and Devin and Emily and all of the individuals who worked behind the scenes on the technology. Tonight was quite an undertaking with so many voices coming in from afar and different pre-recorded videos. And once again, thankfully, through a lot of hard work and knowledge and wisdom and dedication, it worked. So thank you for a lot of hard work this week, in the past couple of weeks, to my clergy partners as well. I thank all of you. Rabbi Sapphire, would you like to announce the Thanksgiving Interfaith Service?
I would love to. We are so excited as the clergy in Wellesley to bring to you our first annual Zoom Thanksgiving service. Hopefully it's the first one we will ever have to and only have to have on Zoom, but we hope you will join us on Monday night. We will be your hosts, 7 p.m. for a wonderful opportunity to join together in fellowship.
Rabbi Sherman?
There's a lot going on to celebrate Shabbat tomorrow. Families with young children at 8:30, please join us on Zoom for Tat Shabbat. And then at 10 o'clock, Minyan and Torah study for those who want to explore this week's Torah portion, Toldot. And then at 1 o'clock, I hope that you'll join us for an intimate and personal dialogue among friends from TBE and Ohel Abraham in Haifa, reflecting and discussing how we are experiencing the turbulent world around us right now. So I hope that you will join us in any one of those 3 opportunities to celebrate Shabbat tomorrow.
So each day, a lot of learning is taking place. We hope you'll join us. I want to acknowledge our educators. The slideshow is just a small taste of what is taking place on Zoom. And I actually welled up inside seeing these pictures of students coming from home and Zooming in for learning. And so I'm really grateful. Let us now, if you have a challah or a cup of wine or juice, if you'll hold them high in the air. The cantor is going to lead us, but we may jump to our Shabbat Jumbotron for like Shabbattron as we highlight, hey, there are the klopfers, different individuals. So Cantor Zell.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra Kodesh, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu Vacharta, Votanu Kidashta, Mikol Hamim, V'Shabbat Kodshecha, Be'ahava Uvratzon, Hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat
L'chaim. And Motzi?
All right, let's show a big old challah. Oh, that's me. I don't have a challah. All right, there we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Let's open up the microphones and wish each other a good Shabbos.
Right, now save it.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Please stay on the screen.
Shabbat shalom.
Thanks for the beautiful music. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Hey, Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Bye, Ryan.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Janet.
Shabbat shalom. Hey, there you are again. Hello.
Shabbat shalom, Margie. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Amazing. Let's do it all again.
Let's do it all again.
Shabbat shalom, Alan Judy. Shabbat
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Have a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I
just woke up. Hey, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Martin and Paz. Shabbat shalom, Heidi and Ellen.
Here I couldn't get the
Stephanie.
kind of weird.
I think I see you.
Shabbat
shalom, Rabbi.
Here it is. I just can't seem to get rid of it.
Shalom, Janet Yardley.
No, like
Shabbat shalom.
Hello, Shabbat shalom, beautiful dog.
Shabbat shalom, Stella.
Hi, Goldie. Hi, Goldie. Happy
Better.
Shabbat shalom,
I don't know
Lord.
how to leave. I got you.
Nancy. Happy birthday, Gold.
Shabbat shalom, Julie Belsky.
Julie Belsky.
All right.
Peace.
Very goodbye.
Daddy,
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And it's not
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. I see you back there. Hi. Shabbat shalom.
I talked to my teacher as well, Dr. Phil.
Okay. You're ready to sign off?
Super
Okay,
he was
how to
doing
sign